Hello and welcome to another video, and this is the Road to the British Champs episode, I don't know, a high number. And this is it. As you watch this video, the competition is going to be less than 1 week away, which means that today is my last heavy session. The plan is to work up to my openers for squat, bench and deadlift, maybe a little bit heavier if I'm feeling good, then drop down and do some triples just to get the volume in. Right, I need to get to the gym, so if you appreciate the fact that I've deviated from my journey to bring you these sweet, sweet scenic views for this 10 seconds of talking, then give the video a like and I'll see you there. Okay, done. So I worked up to 240 for a single, which is my planned opener right now. It felt okay, like probably an RP 9.5 I guess, which I'm happy with. Like, obviously it will move fast on the day, but I need to accept that this is like the peak of my volume. I've just finished the peak of my volume block, so I'm not going to feel good today, whereas come wherever it is 11 days time, the British Champs, I'll be deloaded and fresh and feeling really good, so it should move a lot faster. Then did 3 triples. Now it's bench press time. Right, bench is done. I worked up to 170, which was like a definite RPE 10. It was a massive grinder, but I wanted to go heavy. My opener is planned to be around 160, so I got that like really quick. I just wanted a bit of confidence, so I thought I'd go for 170, try and unrack it and get it by myself. And I did, and then bearing in mind I'm, again, same as a squat, I'm like right at the end of all the volume, not feeling good at all. I'm really, really pleased with that, and it means that come the British Champs should be, hopefully, a good chunk more there.
Hey, check it, put the place up. Put the place up, yeah, we know what we made of. Can't get enough of you, boo, I'm a chaser. Face up, now I feel a little major. Blink of an eye, ego, I'ma take her. Shaker, yeah, she was a ball shaker.
And I'm done. And that was good. That was a good way to finish. So I got the 260 which is my planned opener. That's definitely the easiest of my squat, bench and deadlift attempts, and that was kind of the plan. I didn't want to go like balls out RPE 10 on a deadlift because I feel like my CNS needs more time to recover in that respect, and then just dropped down and did some triples at 220 and they moved really well, so it's good. I'm feeling good. That's it, I've done all I can do now. Just a case of deloading, getting a bit of volume in to keep myself going, nothing crazy, and then it's the big day. Right, let's go home and talk. Back home, sitting in my garden, which is slowly ingesting the chair I'm sitting on. Like where it's like cold, I'm not really coming outside so much, I'm not like tending to the bushes, it's just slowly creeping forwards. Like if I was to sit here for like a couple of days, I would just become a tree. But yeah, today's topic is going to be attempt selection at a powerlifting meet. So I figured being on the eve of my competition, this will be like a really like topical thing to discuss, and I think it's a really underrated part of like competing at powerlifting in general. Like ultimately, if you get your attempt selection wrong, or particularly your openers wrong, it can lead to a completely disastrous meet and something that does not reflect your actual strength. Now before I start, I want to prefix this by saying it's a bit controversial, but I don't think you should like plan to the dot all 3 of your attempts for all 3 lifts. Like I know you should obviously plan your openers, that is integral, but from that point on, I think you need to have like a ballpark figure. But if you say, without doubt, I'm going to hit this, this and this, and then this, this and this, I think you're forgetting about the variables and the things that could go wrong or go right on the day. Like I've had times in the past where I felt a lot better than I thought I would, and vice versa. So I think it's a bit irresponsible to say this is what I'm going to hit and there is no margin for kind of movement there. I think if you say I'm going to go from this number to this number, somewhere in that range, that's a lot more realistic. Right, I want to start by saying my opinion, my method in terms of attempt selection differs from a lot of other powerlifters. A lot of people you'll kind of hear talking about this will not have the same opinion as me. So what is very common to hear, what you hear all the time, is about going 9 for 9, right? So hitting all 9 of your 9 attempts successfully. Now, although obviously that is a good thing, and of course you should be aiming to get that, I don't think that should be the be all and end all. I think if you go into competition thinking, or purely thinking, I want to get all 9 of my lifts, it's going to lead you to be safe and to be too conservative with your attempts. Like the way I see it, I might only compete 2, maybe 3 times at a push in a year. So I'm going to be training for months and months and months in the run up to a competition. So why am I then going to want to go to competition and do 3 safe lifts that I know I can hit in the gym? You know, I think like the mindset of, oh, I want to make sure I get all of my lifts kind of infers that you're being conservative. And I don't think a meet is about being conservative. I think, you know, of course, don't go crazy and go for like a PR on your first attempt, but at the same time, if your first attempt is like an RPE 4, like what's the point? You could have done that in the warm-up area and then gone heavier from there. So yeah, I think like a competition should be a chance to hit PRs. Of course, depending on your level, you might be going out there to win or to get in the top 3 or to qualify for a competition like further down the line. But ultimately, you want to be hitting PRs. Like you've trained really, really hard to get to this point. Don't leave the platform on your last lift knowing you had more there. I think there's nothing worse. Like I watch a lot of competition videos and you'll see a lot of them, even their 3rd attempts are like really safe, like an RP 8 or like maybe a 9 at a push. Like for me, your last attempt should be absolutely balls out to the point where you may not get it. But I think to be successful and to hit PRs and to have like a really like fun and exciting day, like that's what it's all about ultimately. Like why do you want to go to a competition and be safe and do things you already know you can do? Like you can do that at home. Why are you traveling really far and spending money and devoting your time to doing something that's not going to be exciting and different and really push your limits? But again, like why I'm saying this, don't take it to the other extreme. I'm not saying like, you know, if you hit your first deadlift attempt at like 280 kilograms and it's an RPE 10, don't bother going for 300 kilos next because you won't get it. So you might be thinking, well then what would you advise? Well, ultimately I'd advise like somewhere in the middle. Don't go crazy, don't be super safe, somewhere in the middle. I feel like it's wrong to say, like some people say, or a lot of people say, your first attempt should be something you can hit for an easy set of 3. Like I don't think that's right. Like an easy set of 3, that's not going to be heavy enough. What's the point? You only get 3 attempts, right? If you go really, really light on your first one, unless you make a massive jump, it's going to be hard for you to get up to a good number by your 3rd attempt. So I would say go for something that, like, of course you know you're going to get it, but at the same time it's relatively heavy. It's close enough to your 2nd attempt that's going to put you near to a PR. Like I believe that when you go for your 2nd attempt, unless you've been lifting for like 15, 20 years and like progress is very, very slow. But if you're a beginner, then I think your 2nd attempt should be around the PR zone, and then obviously when you get to your 3rd attempt, you should definitely be going for an all-out PR. But yeah, harking back to what I said right at the start of the video, I don't think you should spend too long planning your 2nd and 3rd attempts because obviously there are so many things that can go wrong or go right on the day. So as long as you have a clear number for your opener in mind, and what's also key is that you stick to that. Like I've had competitions in the past, in fact it's quite common for me, like you're particularly on your first attempt squat, you kind of doubt yourself, you know, because you're warming up and maybe you're a bit kind of stressed or you're a bit scared or a bit nervous and things feel a bit heavy. Like, I've been very tempted in the past. In fact, I actually have on one occasion dropped my opening attempt low because I was scared, and then I ended up smoking my first attempt. So, you know, you know better than me what you're capable of doing. So pick your first attempt, pick it a reasonable number, and then stick with it. Don't change your plan, because the chances are the way you think you're feeling isn't actually how you're feeling. But obviously from that point on, after you hit your first attempt, you're then going to be in a much better position to gauge where you can go from there, and the same goes for your other lifts. Now, one more disclaimer as well. It obviously depends on, again, your level and what competition you're doing. Like, if it's your first comp and you're a beginner, all you should be thinking about is yourself and trying to hit PRs and better yourself. If you're obviously further down the line and you're looking at maybe like qualifying for an international meet or whatever, then it's more about how you place in the competition. So if going for a PR on your third deadlift attempt means that missing it, you know, means you won't qualify, then of course don't do that. Hit what you need to hit to qualify or to win the competition. But like I said, if it is like your first meet or you are just trying to improve, then don't look at anyone else, just think about yourself, think about hitting PRs and having an awesome time. But that is that. I'm going to wind this bit up here because I'm really, really hungry and I want to go and get some food, so I'll see you inside. Right, in the kitchen where the magic happens, and I have an idea which is potentially groundbreaking. So picture this: you want some like chorizo, some cheese, some stuff, but you don't want to hold it because it's going to get your hand all greasy. Plus you want more calories, more carbs. What can you do? Oh my god, I know what you're thinking. What the hell is that? Well, I call this, my friends, the bread and things inside the bread, held together by bread. It's pretty convenient because it just means you can like hold the stuff you want to eat without getting your hands dirty. It's got chorizo, salami, pastrami, cheese, tomato, lettuce, etc, etc. If you're not aware of these food items being in my house, you probably didn't watch my last video, did they, Says?
No.
Absolute idiots. It was the Subway, homemade Subway one, to go and watch it now because it's sick. Would you say it was sick? Didn't you say it was sick AF immediately afterwards?
Something like that.
You did. Right, let's give it the all important taste test. Good. Okay, so you're probably thinking one sandwich for an animal of a man like you isn't enough. I mean, you're probably right. I don't really know why I made one. Actually, that's a lie. I do know why I made one sandwich, because I had a pretty sick dessert in mind. Before I get onto that, this is the road to the British champ, so I should explain like my weight and blah blah blah. So basically, as has been the case for the last few videos, I'm still weighing in at around 93 kilos, like mid to low 93 kilos. I was 93.3 kilos this morning, so I need to make sure I'm eating enough food that obviously I don't drop below that, because that's unnecessary. But at the same time, I have to be careful, because if I go crazy and gain weight, that's obviously unhelpful as well. So I'm trying to hover around where I am. Anyway, to supplement the calories for my lunch, I'm about to show you an incredible protein-based dessert that Says made about 10 minutes ago. Right, before I explain what this is, moral of the story, don't try and get a thumbnail with ice cream, because it freaking melts and goes everywhere. What the hell? That was also quite a quick turnaround for the thumbnail. It was just really melty. Like, I guess ice cream isn't designed to be at room temperature. Okay, here we go. So, the backstory. I forgot that we had some MyProtein protein ice cream in the fridge, the freezer, the fridge?
Freezer?
The freezer that I made ages ago. Turns out it's still good. It's vanilla flavour, it has protein in, like the greatest thing ever. These are two Belgian chocolate and salted caramel cookies from Sainsbury's. They're strawberries. If you didn't know that, probably go and read some books. And then they are like chocolate sprinkles. So I think all in all, you're looking at about almost like 900 calories, but more importantly, almost 60 grams of freaking protein in an ice cream sandwich. Hello! And plus, I imagine it's going to be incredibly good, although I probably lost about 10 grams of protein on the table, so be hoovering that up in a minute. When I says,
yep.
How about now?
I think
you clean this table.
I think right. Maybe you want to eat that before you hoover it out.
Then maybe you can lick this off my hands afterwards.
You make me sick.
Okay, this is going to be. When I squeeze this to eat
just get on with it.
It's going to go everywhere though.
Just eat it.
Disclaimer.
Lick it. Lick around the edge first.
Pervert.
All the way around.
I'm going for it.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I think you should have followed my plan.
I haven't got to pry it. It's really cold in my mouth. Jesus Christ. This could not have gone worse.
Yeah, why did you do that?
You didn't get away. You didn't say anything. Okay.
No,
I'm gonna have to end the video here, guys,
I
because
mean the
I need to focus fully on this ice cream sandwich.
Oh.
What is happening? This is a new low point for me in my career. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it, guys.
Okay.
If you did enjoy it, you're a complete freak. And I will see you tomorrow.